Hi, Phil from Got Memories down here in the corner. Thank you for submitting a quote. Now, I sent an email over with a lot of information. I know it's a lot to go through, maybe a little bit overwhelming, but I wanted to make a video here so you can see, obviously, me, the person that potentially would be digitizing your precious, priceless family memories, and also where the work is done. Now, as you're probably aware, these old magnetic videotapes like VHS, Video 8, etc., shelf life 20 to 25 years before problems arise. And you can Google it, magnetic oxide, sticky shed syndrome, all these different terms and well-documented problems now that are happening with these videotapes as they age, and especially if they've not been kept in climate control conditions. There's an array of playback issues with them nowadays, as you might have already experienced if you're doing this yourself. So the difference between me and all of these companies that you're seeing advertised typically on social media, offering all these 50% off deals, $10 a tape, $20 a tape, like these companies here. This industry is basically just putting tapes in, hit and play, and walking away. If it doesn't play within a few seconds, they wrench it, they slap a sticker on it, and they say your tape is too old and deteriorated to get anything off of it, which very rarely is that the case. I have transferred 100% of all the rejects from other companies with clear picture and audio, even when the tapes are in absolutely atrocious shape, like things like this. They all contain priceless, precious, important memories to somebody that's important to the family, etc. So if you are embarking on this project, there's not a lot of consumer awareness out there. Everyone's just clicking on ads and just sending their stuff away into the abyss. And then when you get it all back, it looks terrible, static, all different types of analog issues that nobody is rectifying. And I'm just going to show you briefly here, very common issues like this.
Yeah, you can see if you say rock and roll again.
And, this is what some of these tapes can look like if all the magnetic oxide coming off of them is not cleared and the cameras and the playback equipment isn't operating. I mean, these are the same tapes, just blue screen, in and out of picture, you name it. And there's no refunds given for any of this stuff. So this does take more time, because I am seeing problems now that I did not see 10 years ago. So this is a very much more of an involved, time-consuming, tedious process to get all of these tapes that haven't been played in many decades to play with clear picture and audio, which is my goal with every single videotape. And I'll give you a perfect example here of a tape that I've just transferred, and it's been going, and I'm busy, I've got a lot of stuff going on. And after the capture, and this is with VHS compact tapes, which are amongst the worst of all of the formats, especially if they've been recorded in extended play mode. And nobody knows what record speed they've recorded their tapes at. There might be bad quality tapes, like the cheap bargain bin 99-cent thing, so there's different qualities and formulations of tapes that are preserving better than others. But once I've captured a videotape, I'm going through it to check for corner to corner clear picture and audio, also checking the audio as well. But here there's a problem, and the tracking is off, and you can see it gets worse and worse over time, blue screen happening. And this happens with every single transfer company. There's gonna be problems, but the difference with me is this is minor compared to some of the stuff that you just saw over there. And any quality-driven transfer company, individual, professional, is going to be redoing that tape. So when people say, oh, how much is this per tape? Well, it's only this, it's only that. I might have to redo this tape or that tape 3-4 times in different segments to make sure that I've got a quality file from beginning to end, which maybe the first 20 minutes is great, so I got to crop it, then I got to rewind it and find the exact point where it went bad. Or a lot of times I'm just screw it, I'm redoing the entire tape. Or the player could have magnetic oxide or particles which just constantly shed from these tapes. As you can see here, this is the inside of a VCR. Not many people have seen them. And companies like these, I don't think any of their staff have seen the inside of them, because they just shove them in, and then if they won't play, they won't play. But you can see here all the particles coming off. Like all these bits shedding off the tape, all these little bits here that clog the video heads. And the video heads are these little holes here on the head. And anybody doing this in this 2025 when I'm making this video, you've got to be aware of the problems. All this bit coming off here, people have not taken care of their tapes either, for the most part. Sometimes tapes can't play because they're cracked inside. Little springs have come out, and nobody is fixing any of these tapes, because you do open them up and it is like keyhole surgery. So with the setup feed that I do have on every order, I'm fixing those. And when you rewind the tapes, people haven't rewound the tapes ever. When you rewind them, they snap and the spool comes off inside, and you've got to unscrew everything with the little screwdrivers, and sometimes the screws won't come out. And this is where the workbench that you've probably seen on YouTube, it's messy, but it is a working, I mean, all these plastic pieces here, things come apart because it's just cheap plastic junk that was mass produced. And here we are 25 to 50 years later with it being played for the first time ever. And I am a results-based video transfer company. I've been doing this for decades, 23 years in the States, before in England, and then since I was a little kid, duplicating videotapes, etc. So I've been living and breathing this pretty much my whole life. So you're hiring a professional as opposed to a minimum wage, unskilled labor force that is just hiring and firing, which unfortunately is the norm now, and they're put in charge of the only copy of priceless, precious memories. And companies are losing tapes. They're mixing tapes with other customers' stuff. And the big one, they're recording over them. And I cannot stress this enough. No matter where you go, you've got your videotapes right now. And I can give you this one little tip. Before you send them anywhere, whether it's me, Great, or other companies, do this one thing. These record tabs, these little plastic pieces on VHS tapes, you got to dig in with a screwdriver or your fingernail if you can, and snap them out. Okay, these little pieces come out here. Okay, that bit right there, you can just break it off. So these ones here, and the reason for that is they're not recorded over. On other videotapes, there are little sliders on them. So you got to look on all your videotapes. Some of them you got to break off, the VHS tapes. But on here, you can see here it says record to the right or left to save. You're going to push it over to save, because if it's kept on the record, what is happening again and again, and it's tragic, is these low-skilled, low-labor, just muppets, okay, instead of hitting play, they're hitting record. And that records over your home movies with snow or blue screen. If they're running them through camcorders and they're not paying attention and they just hit record, it's recording over your home movies. And I get at least 1 to 2 calls a week with people going, hey, this company, they're telling me there's nothing on it, but it's clearly the birth of my children, my wedding tapes, and they've all got snow on them and they're telling me they're blank. Can you look at them? And I'm like, who did it? And they're like, oh yeah, this Facebook ad company. I'm like, they've recorded over your home movies. And they're like, no. All it takes is one disgruntled employee as well. If you read on Indeed.com or Glassdoor, this is rife on all of these employee websites where they're just telling stories of just tragic stuff. So this is not scare tactics, this is reality. And you have to check Google Maps for reviews, because everyone's just checking Google and it comes up with some fake sites. So you go maps.google.com and type in the name of the company, and you got to see whoever's got the most amount of reviews with a 5.0, that's your winner right there. Anyway, YouTube channel is a must, so you can see the person that would be entrusted custodial responsibility is massive with the only copy of your priceless, precious home movies. I don't care where you go. If it's me, fantastic. I will knock it out of the park for you. But if you are shopping around just be careful. I'm not joking, because I have to listen to the aftermath, and you absolutely get what you pay for. And this industry is just fleecing people with cheap deals and attractive pricing that just seems, 50% off. Run a mile, because they won't transfer anything, or at best they'll transfer it poorly, and then they keep the money. So you could send 50 tapes off and spend $1,000, and then 45 of them come back with stickers on them, like Legacy Box, South Tree Kodak Digitizing, and they don't give a refund. And people are throwing perfectly good tapes away, and they're recording over home movies en masse like you would not believe. So this type of project, you're doing right, get it done right once, and it's no drama. But there's so much more to this as well. I'm just skimming over the details. I know I'm like 11 minutes into this video, but hand them over to somebody that cares. Whether it's me or whether it's some other, company that's checking all the boxes in your corner of the world. Give them your business if they're checking all the boxes, but you have to know that this is not a straightforward process. It is all about management of digital files, management of the media, making sure your tapes are returned to you and not someone else. You're getting the correct files. You're getting the correct number of tapes back. You're getting the correct number of files back. Everything is neatly organized. So every single bit of information that's written on the labels is put into the file description. And, it's all just labeled correctly, neat and tidy. So this is a worry-free process versus, a lot of potential anxiety for the people that really do care about their memories. So I cater to people that understand that the quality, attention to detail, and having somebody switched on the other end is priceless, like the memories. And also, you've got my cell phone number. People can contact me anytime, text me anytime, and you're in my pocket. So I offer just a AAA, top-tier, VIP, concierge type service, that you're getting top-notch customer service, personal customer service. I know your name. You're not just a barcode, serial number, invoice number, what have you. And turn times are quick, sometimes a day or two, sometimes a couple weeks, depending on the project, depending on my workflow. I do not have massive amounts of work to do because my prices are higher, therefore volumes are lower, prices are higher, but I can spend more time on this stuff. And I don't want mass volumes. I've been doing this for 23 years. I've had the business big. I've had loads of employees. Employees are a nightmare. Just if you run your own business or manage people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you want the job done right, you got to go to the person at the top. No worries, game over. So you absolutely get what you pay for. If you are in the Phoenix area, I am by appointment for drop-offs. If you're out in California, Texas, I do have people that do drive out and I can accommodate. I do have a retail storefront. I get work from all over the world. So this gives you kind of the warm and fuzzy feeling that you know where your tapes are going to be and who's going to be doing them. And, it is what it is. If you don't really care about the footage, I would go through it as best you can and get rid of stuff that doesn't mean anything to you or your family. Reduce your quantities. If you're trying to do this yourself, you're going to need a lot of equipment. You're going to need, these are all cameras that need repairing. You look inside. If you've got pneumatic tapes, this is a 50-year-old deck here. This is a mess inside, as in a lot of moving parts, and these tapes can wreck the players. So anyway, that's me. I know I've rambled enough, but love to have you as a customer. But if you are looking around, all I can say is remove the record tabs, okay? And flip them over to save. Because I hear way too many stories of just completely avoidable drama. So anyway, all the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.